Right, Vendor of Suez, Chapter 5, Summary. So let's see what are the main things that are happening in Chapter 5. So in Chapter 5, we see that though Jagan was uneasy about his son going to the USA, later on he developed a positive idea about it. He seems to be acting like a proud father whose son has gone abroad. So whenever he met someone on the road, he talked only about Mali, his letters and the USA, because Mali started to write a lot of letters from USA, right? And earlier when Mali was living in India, he was not that much communicative. So Jagan was very happy about Mali being communicative, because earlier he could not even talk to Mali and get such a lot of information. Now Mali is writing about everything in America, about the situation there, about his studies, about his the town he lives in, about the country's situation, economy and lifestyle, their eating habits, the famous incidents like assassinations of famous people or killing, everything about accidents. So he's so happy. He spread all the information he gathered about America, and the cousin was a good listener. So Jagan was telling everything to the cousin. He read out the letters, right? He never gave anyone a chance to touch the letters. He just read out them to the others. And cousin listened to them, and what did he do? After that, the cousin told everything to the outsiders, his friends. So everyone in Malgudi knew everything about USA. Jagan never let anyone read Mali's letters and collected them in a file. Actually, he wanted to put them together and make a book later. He wanted to compile them into a book. And he also thought that, if there was more margin, වැඩිපුර පොඩ අයින ඉඩ තිබ්බනම් හොඳටම පොතකට බයින් කරන්න පුළුවන්. So he was worried about that a little bit. Anyway, out of all the letters, only one letter was hidden by Jagan. Without disclosing, he didn't tell what was there in his letter, in that particular letter, because that letter was about Mali having started to eat beef. Now that's a terrible thing. In India, always cows are regarded as religious creatures. The Brahmins, the Hindus, most of them are vegetarian and they never even think about eating beef, right? Now this one, the son of such a traditional Hindu vegetarian, has gone to the USA and he has started eating beef. Terrible, right? And also, he tells further that, see, in India, so many people are dying in hunger. People are suffering for starvation. Why can't you all eat the meat of the cows? Right? Why can't you kill them and eat? Right? So Mali was writing like that in the letter, and Jagan was so shocked. Why? In his culture, in his tradition, and also according to the Gandhian principles, they do not eat beef. It is like, breaking a precept. Like a pradana piligana precept belief එකක් කැඩුවා වෙනවා, right? So he was so shocked and he didn't want anyone to know these radical ideas. මේ විප්ලවකාරී අදහස් he didn't want anyone to know. Right. So that is the only letter that he wanted to hide from everyone else. And then let's see what happened after that. After around 3 years, what happened? Mali comes home with a foreign wife. Jagan even paints the house and built a new bathroom also, right? So what happened, everyone? When Mali suddenly wrote to Jagan saying that I'm coming, Jagan was very quickly getting ready for the arrival of his son. Right, so he painted the house, built a bathroom, actually even furnished the house, right? So furnished the house also. He brought furniture, everything is done. Jagan is very worried about a sudden marriage which has taken place without considering any customs, cars, kulaya, and celebrations. But still, as usual, Jagan didn't talk about it, in a criticizing way, right? So Jagan is worried that Mali has, married without telling him, without getting the permission of him, without thinking about the religion, without thinking about the custom. And the girl is a foreign girl, half American, and not even the caste is considered. Big problem. However, Grace seems to be a very good girl who tries to adjust to the Indian traditional context. And she always cooked and made the house clean, attending to the domestic requirements. So whatever, the problems are there regarding the marriage and the customs, Grace seems to be a good and a kind girl. She wants to cook for Jagan. She does everything at home. She cleans the house. She seems to be a good, understanding, caring wife for Mali. And she wears sari. She puts flowers on her head. She puts jasmine in the sitting room. Not jasmine, rather margosa to kill the germs, and that makes Jagan very happy. She puts jasmine on her hair. She draws paintings on the compound like a traditional Indian woman. She tries to be Indian. She tries to be a traditional Indian wife. But and also there's something else. Later on, it was found out that she was the one who had written the letters from the USA. And that made Jagan a little bit worried because he thought that my son wrote all the letters. And now later on, it was found, no, only Grace has written them. That made him a little bit sad. Okay, anyway, Jagan got a lot of information about Mali and his future plans from Grace, or because of Grace. So with her interference, Mali tells about his future plans to Jagan. He's going to have a business. He's going to manufacture story writing machines. So Jagan and Mali talked about this plan. But when Mali was explaining this, Jagan admires his son while he is talking and thus misses what Mali explains. So Jagan this, see how he looks like, he's great, and all that. Now, with that, he misses what Mali says, because when Mali comes from America after several years, he looks like a film star. And Jagan was going to say even sir to him. Right, and Mali is having different Western kind of behavioral patterns. He wears slippers inside the house. He changes clothes for every occasion, right? And he eats also canned food. Very like Western professional life. So Jagan admires Mali, and when he is talking also, Jagan admires him. So Jagan misses what he says. But Grace, who is understanding, who always shapes the situation, makes the situation okay, and also she's caring. So she says that they can always discuss again. Don't worry, father, like that, right? And here you all can see Grace. So when Grace comes with Mali, Jagan is shocked and surprised to see a foreign bride. But then he adjusts. He tries to be good. He never tells even a bad word or a critical term against her. And Grace also tries to be friendly with Chagan, understand Chagan, help Chagan, and offers to cook for Chagan. So they get quite well. They get along quite well. And the fact is that whatever liveliness has come to the house because of the new couple, still Jagan was not good at showing his love. He was rather a timid father, right? So he could never show his great love to anyone. He was a silent, introvert character, not extrovert. He was not showing his love. He was not talking a lot, So because of that, the relationship and the communication between Jagan and Malik was still a problem. There was no proper or deep communication and understanding between the father and son still. So like that, chapter 5 tells us about the life of Mali and Grace, as well as how Chagan tries to cope with everything. So hope that you got an idea about that.